Art, the Steelers almost punched their ticket to the playoffs but fell just short. So how do you evaluate the 2022 season?
I think the encouraging thing is that as the season went on, I think we got to be a better team. And even though we started out, dug ourselves a deep hole, guys never stopped fighting. And, we kept ourselves alive all the way down to the last game of the season. So it's too bad we didn't make the playoffs, but I was encouraged by the way we finished.
Kenny Pickett came in at halftime of the Jets game. Did how and when that took place, him becoming the starter, surprise you at all?
I expected him to become the starter at some point during the season. Didn't know it would be at halftime of that game. But, we thought Kenny was going to be on track to become our starter, sooner or later. And I think it worked out pretty well. And he came in at a time where gave him an opportunity to improve and play in some tough games. And certainly showed down the stretch, leading us on drives to win games late in the game. That's good to see.
Was there anything you learned about him that you didn't already know?
Probably didn't know the extent of his mental toughness. I think he showed that, particularly, like I say, in those late drives, a couple games there, showed a lot of mental toughness and just, he's just a tough kid. Good to see that.
Hindsight's always 20/20, but do you wish that maybe he got some more first-team reps in the offseason and training camp?
Not really. I mean, I think, when you have a rookie quarterback, you don't necessarily go into the season saying he's going to be our starter week one. And so I think we prepared as though, like I said, we probably thought he was going to become the starter at some point, but I didn't expect him to be the starter on day one, and think it's probably better that he wasn't. I think it's good for a rookie quarterback to stand on the sidelines a little bit and see what's going on, and so I think it worked out pretty well.
What went into the decision to stay with Matt Canada as offensive coordinator?
I think the improvement that we saw over the course of the season, particularly some key statistical areas, we really improved in third down efficiency and ball possession. That helped us, stay in those games and win those games down the stretch. So there are things we need to improve on. Our red zone offense needs to be better. We need to score more points. But, there was definite improvement there, and I think something we can build on.
As you said, it was disappointing to not get into the playoffs because of how well the team was playing. How do you evaluate the offense being so young, but knowing that they did come together towards the end?
I think I'm excited for the future. A lot of good young players on offense that we hope are going to take that next step next year, and that's part of the reason to be encouraged, I think.
In this setting, the past few years, we've talked a lot about improving the run game, which was another element of the offense that improved down the stretch. Can that carry over into 2023, or is that something that you have to start over with each year?
Yeah, you never know how much really carries over from one season to the other, but I think the fact that we're going to have a lot of the guys back, particularly our, Najee and Jalen, I think showed that they can be a good combination, an effective combination, and having them back should help. Yeah, that's part of the reason to be excited, I think, for next season.
Flipping over to the defense, how do you evaluate them knowing that T.J. Watt missed 7 games?
Well, I mean, it's, the statistics of what we did with him and without him are pretty drastic. So, we missed him for sure while he wasn't in there. And even though I'm not sure he was ever 100% when he came back, he's a difference maker. And, if we can stay healthy, and obviously we've got some free agency situations we're going to have to address in the offseason here. I think we can have a good defense next year.
Last year you said that Minkah Fitzpatrick was a priority to sign in the offseason. Is anybody a priority for this one?
I think there's a few guys out there that we're going to be looking at. I don't know that I can name one at this point, but definitely some in the defensive backfield in particular, we have some work to do to either bring guys back or, find replacements.
Do you feel the coaching staff is going to stay intact right now?
It's too early to say that it's, we're finished. I mean, we have coaches interviewing at other places, and so it's that time of year when coaches' contracts are up for discussion, and we're working our way through that. Coach Tomlin is working his way through that, and so I don't really want to speculate on it, as we sit here today.
Speaking of Coach Tomlin, 16 seasons, never had a losing one in his time with the Steelers. How do you evaluate his 22 performance?
I think the number one thing you look at, I look at in terms of the job a coach does is, does the team get better over the course of the season? And we clearly did that. Look, I don't really evaluate Mike on anything other than I'm glad he's our coach, and I think hopefully he'll be our coach into the future, and I think he gives us a chance to win year in and year out and put us in a position that we have a chance to compete for a championship.
Is there anything in this offseason or coming up in 2023 that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, we have work to do in terms of putting the roster back together. Nothing unusual there. Have some high draft choices that we have Omar and Andy working on putting together the draft plan, and so a lot of new faces in our draft room this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they all come together and work on our draft. So it'll be a little different without Kevin in the room, so it'll be interesting to see how all that unfolds.
What has the process been like for you personally, having new leadership in the GM role and just the scouting process?
For me, it hasn't been dramatically different so far. We're only at the beginning as far as, kind of my getting involved in the paying attention to the draft. So, I'm excited to see, like I said, new guys in the room and hearing some different opinions. Looking forward to it.
Art, thanks for your time.
Thank you.